Goodwill brings to you the weekly share market update dated the 23rd of September, 2023. Talking about the corporate segment, we have Panacea Biotech shares surged to a 52-week high of 165 rupees on September 18, buoyed by high-volume trade. Nearly 1 crore shares of the pharma company changed hands against a monthly average of 8 lakhs. The sharp uptick in the stock price came after Dr. Cyrus Poonawala's Serum Institute of India offloaded 4 lakh shares in the last trading session on September 15 at an average price of 140.65 rupees. According to data published by the NSE, the vaccine maker sold its shares in the company for the second time in the ongoing quarter, after having offloaded 5 lakh shares in August at an average price of 146.31 rupees. Shares of Dhanlaxmi Bank tanked 4.5% on September 18, on the news of an independent director resigning from the post. Sridhar Kalyansundaram, one of the independent directors of Kerala-based Dhanlaxmi Bank, resigned on September 16, citing multiple issues in the bank's operations and internal battle within the board, according to a communication from the bank to exchanges on September 17. Kalyansundaram, in his resignation letter to the board of directors, has highlighted multiple issues, including lack of support from the board, issues related to a rights issue plan, capital enhancement plan, conduct of the bank's board, probity and lack of consensus on the various whistleblower issues raised to the directors and unethical conduct of bank's business among other issues. Ashapura Minichem shares hit a 52-week high at 339 rupees on September 18 after the mining company announced large volume order wins to supply bauxite and iron ore to Chinese companies. In a regulatory filing at the exchanges, the company said, Ashapura Holdings, UAE, FZE, a step-down subsidiary of the company, has concluded and signed 2 contracts for the supply of 24 million tons of bauxite from Guinea to a subsidiary of the Chinese aluminium major, State Power Investment Corporation. While the first contract entails 3 million tons per annum supply agreement for 3 years, the second contract entails 3 million tons per annum supply agreement for 5 years. Shares of Prakash Industries surged 5% higher on September 20 after the steel products manufacturer received the environmental clearance for commercial coal mining at Baskapara in Chhattisgarh. The development of the mine is fast in progress and the mining lease is likely to be executed by the next quarter. The supply of coal from this mine shall provide stability to the company's integrated steel operations as well as significant cost reductions, the company said in a regulatory filing at the exchanges. Further, this being a commercial mine, it shall also boost the revenue and the profitability through sale of coal in the open market, it said. Shares of JSW Energy moved up nearly 4% on September 20. Jefferies has reaffirmed its buy rating on JSW Energy and raised the target price to 500 rupees per share. The move reflects the foreign brokerage firm's confidence in the company's growth prospects and its potential to deliver substantial returns to investors. Jefferies highlights 3 key triggers that are expected to play out over the next 12 to 24 months, impacting JSW Energy's stand in the market. First, there is a notable improvement in visibility as the company's renewable energy capacity is set to increase from 52% in financial year 2023 to 81% by financial year 2030. Second, the commissioning of a 700 megawatts merchant capacity comes at a crucial time when peak power deficits are a concern, further solidifying the company's role in meeting India's energy demands. Shares of Blue Star opened nearly 8% higher and hit a 52-week high of 863.30 rupees on September 20 after the company floated a qualified institutional placement issue to raise funds. The floor price for the QIP is set at 784.55 rupees per share, which reflects a 2% discount to Monday's closing price of 800.05 rupees. The company, at its discretion, may offer a discount of not more than 5% on the floor price. The Executive Management Committee of the company will hold a meeting on September 22 to consider the issue price. Shares of Delphi World Money hit a 10% upper circuit of 408 rupees apiece in the intraday trade on September 21 on the back of heavy volumes. The Mumbai-headquartered Delphi World offers money exchange services. It operates a slew of shops offering foreign exchange, demand drafts, telegraphic transfers, prepaid travel cards, general insurance, branded gold coins and inbound money transfer services. Around 8,000 shares of Delphi World exchanged hands at both exchanges against the monthly average of 2,000 shares. Shares of the Miss Medicare jumped 5% to hit a fresh lifetime high of 1,794 rupees per share in Thursday's intraday trade after the pharmaceutical company fixed October 10, 2023, as a record date for the purpose of stock split or subdivision of equity shares. So far this year, the stock of this small-cap pharma company has surged 33%. The total market capitalization or MCAP of the company stood at 1,628 rupees crore. A record date of October 10 was fixed to determine eligibility of shareholders for subdivision, or split of every one fully paid-up equity share having face value of 10 rupees each into 10 fully paid-up equity shares having face value of 1 rupee each, as approved by the shareholders in the 53rd Annual General Meeting, the company said in an exchange filing on September 20. Shares of SJVN tanked 11% on September 21, after the government launched an offer for sale for up to 4.92% equity stake, at a deeply discounted floor price. The government announced an OFS to sell 9.67 crore equity shares, or 2.46% equity stake in SJVN, with an option to sell another 2.46% by retaining oversubscription. SJVN OFS opens for non-retail investors on September 21, and for retail investors on September 22. The floor price of the offer is set at 69 rupees per share, which is at nearly 15% discount to the previous closing price. Shares of Burger Paint surged 6% to hit a 52-week high of 665 rupees per share in intraday trade on September 22 after the stock turned ex-bonus. In the past month, the stock of this paint and coating manufacturer has surged 12%. Earlier this month, the company had fixed September 23 as the record date to ascertain the eligibility of shareholders for the issue of bonus equity shares in the ratio 1:5, that is, 1 equity share of 1 rupee for every 5 equity shares of 1 rupee each. In the April-June quarter of the financial year 2023-24, the company posted a net profit of 326.3 rupees crore, an increase of 39% year-on-year, from 234.4 rupees crore in the year-ago period. Shares of Union Bank made a robust comeback 5% on September 22, after a bruising sell-off in the previous session after JP Morgan's decision to include Indian bonds in its emerging market index boosted investor sentiment. JP Morgan Chase & Co. said on September 22, it will add Indian government bonds to its benchmark emerging market index starting June 28, 2024. The decision has significant implications for India's debt market and global investors, with India's weight in the index limited to a maximum of 10% and eligible government bonds valued at $330 billion, analysts said. Rajdarshan Industries Limited has moved up by 54.75% this week with a change of 19.30 points. It has traded with a net volume of 825.406 thousand shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 54.55 against the previous closing price of 35.25. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 38.85, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 64.40 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 75.87. Jindal Photo Limited has moved up by 50.73% this week, with a change of 192.20 points. It has traded with a net volume of 4.33 per million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 571.05 against the previous closing price of 378.85. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 400.10, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 590 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 84.90. IFCI Limited has moved up by 38.44% this week with a change of 6.40 points. It has traded with a net volume of 549.586 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 23.05 against the previous closing price of 16.65. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 16.65, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 23.40 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 83.50. STL Global Limited has moved up by 31.51% this week with a change of 4.60 points. It has traded with a net volume of 4.634 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 19.20 against the previous closing price of 14.60. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 15.40, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 22.70 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 68.33. Kyocal Limited has moved up by 30.83% this week with a change of 79.15 points. It has traded with a net volume of 23.94 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 335.85 against the previous closing price of 256.70. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 251.75, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 358 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 82.66. Talking about Nifty 50 and Bank Nifty expectations. The party begins on D Street as the benchmark index Nifty 50 reaches the milestone of 20,000 during the week that went by. The index extended its gains towards 20,200 mark and closed in green for the third consecutive week. Overall, the index surged around 2% from its previous week's close. After a consolidation in the range of 20,000 to 19,200, the index has finally confirmed a breakout, which has a theoretical target of around 20,600. However, in the coming sessions, 20,400 might act as an immediate hurdle for the index since that is the placement of a rising trend line. This trend can be a temporary resistance for the markets and can halt the momentum for the time being. The 50,000 mark by the end of fiscal year 2024 can't be ruled out, but before that, one small correction can be possible. Following are some pointers that hint towards some corrections in the Bank Nifty. At the current juncture, the Ichimoku cloud has not turned completely green. Having said that, the angle of the cloud is still flat. In the previous last day of the week, the candlestick resembled a spinning top structure, which can't be ruled out. At present, the Bank Nifty is well above the wide monthly central pivot range, which hints towards a pullback to 45,000 by September 2023. You can contact us from the details mentioned on the screen via a call, WhatsApp, or email. Thank you for listening the video to the end. Please do like, share, and subscribe the video for the latest updates in the market.